Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we have another shop talk video. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about gasket makers and how to use them. Now before we go ahead and begin, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below, smash the like button because it helps the channel out. With that said, let's go and get started on today's video. Recently I had a comment from a viewer saying, hey Mike, how long do you wait before you put a vehicle back into service after you use a gasket maker? And a light bulb popped up in my head and I was like, why haven't I talked about this before? It's a very common, widely asked question. And that's why we have today's video happening. And I want to send a shout out to Omar. I believe the commenter's name was. So if you're watching this video, Omar, thank you for the comment. And I guess this one's for you, why we're talking about this. So next to me, I got two types of gasket makers that you'll find mostly in professional shops or dealerships. One of them is found widely even on the shelves of auto parts stores in different configurations, but one of them is more professional grade. So the more professional grade one is going to be this 3-bond. This stuff is extremely professional, if that's even a way to state it. You don't really find a lot of DIYers messing with this stuff because this stuff can be a little bit tricky to work with, and it's super strong. I believe this is even toxic, or if you get it on your skin, you gotta basically clean it off right away because it can hurt you or do something. I'm not exactly sure. I've had it on my skin plenty of times, nothing's really happened, but I am in this field every day, so maybe my body's used to chemicals. But either way, 3-bond is commonly found in professional shops or dealerships. This is what they mainly use. This stuff is incredible. If you're able to use this on your project when you're doing an oil pan or whatever it is that requires a gasket maker, this is the go-to stuff that you should be using if you're able to get your hands on it. But the problem with this is the fact that the shelf life for what it costs is not that great, and on top of that, it can be a little bit difficult to get this, and it requires certain protocols and procedures that you got to follow. At least how we used to use it at the dealer, because I worked on multiple dealers that use this stuff, and every dealer had a different way or different auto group, I guess you can call it. They had different specs. Now if we look at this 3-bond, you'll notice that there's not really any directions on how to use it, and that's because every OEM has different uses and how they want you to use it. It's kind of widespread, although I believe there's only one real way to really use this stuff, and we'll get into it. The other product that you'll find anywhere and everywhere in any parts store shelf that I actually use a lot of this in the shop just because of availability and pricing and how good it is. This is the go-to stuff that I use in almost every video. The 3-bond, I got it for a particular project where I didn't want to go off course of what the OEM recommended because it was a specific transmission. So that's why we have the can of 3-bond. But this stuff is what I always have on hand and always use, and it's been wonderful and great if you follow the directions on how to use it correctly. So what we're going to do today is kind of talk about the professional grade stuff and the stuff that is professional and also consumer grade friendly. So 3-bond, like I said, very difficult to get. I got this for a specific transmission on the Subaru. I remember calling the dealer and asking them that, do they have any in stock I needed? On top of them telling me that it was about $100 and some change, they also told me they don't have it and they gotta special order it. I went ahead and proceeded to call another Subaru dealer that had them on the shelf, but I think charged me $120 for this tube, where I literally needed a very little amount of, but I had no choice. We went with it. So this stuff is expensive and professional grade. It has a shelf life. If you're using this, it's actually quite simple to use now. I was taught 2 ways to use this product between 2 different manufacturers. The first way, obviously, you got to start off with clean surfaces. You go ahead and put this on your oil pan. Let's say we're sealing up oil pan. And then what they would tell you is you got 5 minutes to go ahead and stick it on. And depending on the manufacturer, now this is where they kind of change course. Some manufacturers told me that you have to put the bolts in, hand snug them, give it about 10-15 minutes, let this skim over a little bit, and then go ahead and torque them into place. Some had us wait even more, like 30 minutes. Some manufacturers called for just putting it on whatever you're sealing up, placing it into place, and going ahead and putting in the hardware and torquing it into place right from the get-go. The only thing that they both told us that we had to do specifically that never changed was that it has to be a clean surface always. Prep your surfaces for this to work good without leaks. And secondly, that you had to wait a couple hours for this to dry up and harden before you could put the vehicle back into service. Now the last part, even though you were supposed to do that, many technicians that I knew didn't really wait. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of it. Flat rate people. It always causes you to work, I guess you can say it incompetently. I'm not a fan of flat rate, but because of the time frame that they want you to wait, that the tech wouldn't get paid if they were just waiting, what they would do is just kind of put these back into service right away. And sometimes they had issues, sometimes they didn't. It's kind of 50-50 mix. But the proper way, the way I used to do it when I was at the dealer, if I had an oil pan reseal, I would just do it at the end of the night, let it sit overnight. When I come in the morning, I can fill it up, send the car back into service. I never had any issues with any cars coming back leaking for me using this product. So this one, you do got to play a little bit of a waiting game with. So it is a little bit more extreme and difficult to work with. That's why a lot of DIYers won't be messing with this. And if you're a DIYer, I really don't recommend it, although this stuff is really good. If you got a lot of time on your hands and you can wait, pick some up. If not, then, you know, let's move on to the right stuff, because this stuff is great as well, just readily available. So with the right stuff, now this stuff is actually more, I guess you could say, compatible, more universal than this. If you read the back end of it, it tells you what OEMs this covers. Now I haven't read this in a while, but I know here it says that this meets the OE specification of GM, Ford, Chrysler, Mercedes-Benz. I do know that Nissan and all of them, I mean, this is all pretty much all the same, almost universal for all manufacturers. The only thing you can't use this stuff on is gas type of sealant. Like, you can't seal a gas tank with this. It won't hold, and I don't believe the 3-bond will either. Mainly oil applications, case halves, transmissions, oil pans, things like that is what you typically use this stuff on. The right stuff is much friendlier to use. Now, the reason why I always use this and I love it, because you can literally pick this up in so many variations, whether you want a tube, a squeeze tube, whatever. Auto parts stores always have it. The cost of this is $30 compared to $100-something of this, and you can find this almost anywhere and everywhere. And this stuff works great, guys. I've put this thing to the extreme limits throughout the years, and good stuff. I recommend this is what you usually pick up. It's just so much friendlier to work with. Now, the way you use this is obviously clean up your prep areas, your surfaces. Sorry about that, everyone. Fire truck rolling around and an ambulance, I think it was. So, good old Chicago. But anyway, this stuff, you put it on your oil pan, you go ahead and tighten it up, torque it to specification. You get 5 minutes working time between you putting it on the oil pan to where you have to get that pan on the car, and then you're pretty much golden. Torque it. Even though you can put the car immediately into service with this stuff, I still give it about 15 minutes to a half hour just to play it safe. Then I'll go ahead and fill up the car, let's say with engine oil if it's an engine oil pan, and you're good to go. This stuff is really, really good. Great stuff, really compatible with a lot of stuff, and I use this mainly more in my shop than the 3-bond. The 3-bond is more of like a here and there type of occasion when it's a specific thing. The reason why I have this is because we were working on Subaru CVT. It called for 3-bond. That's what I got. I wasn't sure if me using the right stuff might hurt it, even though I'm pretty sure it wouldn't, because I've used this on Nissans that have CVTs. But since I don't get a lot of Subaru here, you know, I figured let's just play it cool, and the customer wanted all original. So we went with all original, how it's supposed to be from the factory. Both great products, guys, but for DIY, always the right stuff. If you want more professional grade, go with 3-bond. I always like to wait. The longer you wait when you use a gasket maker, the better. Now, even though the right stuff says you can put that thing into service right away, I still like waiting a little bit. With the 3-bond, unfortunately, you do always have to wait. And if you don't, like I said, I've seen techs put the stuff on, put the oil pan on, wait like 10 minutes, pour oil in it, and call it a day, and the car's on the road. And some cars would come back, some cars wouldn't. It was just kind of a your luck at the moment type thing. So, you know, when it comes down to gasket makers, if you give them some time, it's always good. If you're doing it in a DIY setting, and you can plan out for it, and it's not like a case where you got to get this thing back up and running on the road, give it as much time as you possibly can that you're comfortable with. Even if you're using the right stuff, even though, you know, the stuff is as good as it is, and trust me, it is, guys. I've literally put on oil pans, put them on, torqued them, pour oil in it, probably no less than 10 minutes after this stuff was applied to the pan, and I've never seen that car again. That car is on the road doing its thing, probably leak free. So this stuff does hold up to its name. It's good stuff, and it's the right stuff. But if you have the time frame to give it time, do so. that is pretty much all I have to say on gasket makers. I don't know if I missed anything. Now, I'm not gonna get into the fine details of, what makes what and this and that. What I could tell you though, a fun story with this 3-bond, just to kind of prove how great this stuff is. When I was at the Subaru dealer, we had a pallet that was made out of wood and it had a sheet of wood on it that was like a plank board. And we took a used oil pan, smeared the stuff on there, and literally just stuck it up there. And we all went to lunch. When we came back from lunch, we were hanging out the pan, no bolts, no hardware, and that's how strong this stuff is. This stuff is glue. I literally call this liquid glue for automotive. And if you have to take a pan out that has this stuff on it, oh boy, it's fun. This stuff really sticks. That's why if you're not a professional, I really don't encourage this too much. I kind of put this on the back burner. The right stuff, however, even if you got to open it up, you can clean it up. It's real easy. This stuff doesn't glue stuff together. It forms a gasket and seals like it's intended to. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this covers a majority of the questions regarding silicones and gasket makers. So with that said, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe because it definitely helps the channel grow. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next video.